So here's 12 years of spiritual content knowledge in about 15 minutes. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ghost. I've been spiritual for 12 years, read well over 300 books, and have been practicing all different types of spirituality, including being trained by some shamans. And I've been posting content for about 2 years. And so if you watch this whole video to the end, you are going to save yourself a massive amount of time, research, and also probably wasted effort because these are the lessons that I wish I knew sooner. And if I did, I would probably be a billionaire right now. So make sure to watch this whole video to the end. Because one thing that a lot of people don't consider is the fact that pretty much all spirituality in one way or another is content. Because the way that most people hear about spirituality these days is through books, podcasts, interviews with public figures, and very few people actually get the integrative spirituality where they have some form of practice bestowed upon them by somebody else. And even in that case, the spiritual essence of the transmission is it is some teaching that people want to stop and think and actually goes so deep to the core of providing value in this experience that it makes people want to latch on to this practice as something that they take with them. Yo, I just want to let you know that if you click the link in the description, you'll be brought to a page where you could learn more about how I could personally help you create content, build a business, and live the life of your dreams. So if that's something that you're interested in, go click the link, fill out the form, and me or a member of my team will be in touch to see if you're a good fit to work with me one-on-one. If that interests you, click the link, and if not, enjoy the video. Aloha. And so that's the first thing that you really need to realize when you're thinking about making content about spirituality. And I think the biggest reason why people don't make content about spirituality is because they view content or speaking about what it is they're interested in as something that they shouldn't need to do or something that it isn't really necessary for them or it's something that is going to make them sell out. But it's honestly opposite because when you start to go and create from a place of excess, from overflow, from having so much going on with you that you're excited to share with others, that's when some of the magic really starts to happen. And the first major reason why you need to be creating content comes into play is because creating content will help you find your tribe. It'll help you magnetize people who are on a similar vibration that are actually up leveling their life. Because if you take a look around you, you'll realize that most people, they stay stuck in the same job with the same circle, doing the same things, and never really elevating to that place that they probably say that they want to be going. And so when you start to post content, not only do you change your vibration to people that are more similarly creating what it is that they actually want to see in the world, but you realize that the people that you admire are actually a lot closer than you think. You're probably only max like 1 year out, if you really take it seriously, from getting in contact with people that you admire and look up to and being able to have them on your podcast like I found in my own life. And that connection gives you so much more potential to think about the possibilities of not only how you can uplevel your own life, but also uplevel the world. Because you came in with specific gifts, with specific talents, and in this current age of ascension, it's so vital that you actually become comfortable sharing them. Because we are past the age when people, and some of you probably watching this have experience with this, where you would be handed a lineage, or you would be handed like the keys to the temple and be like, all right, you're the priest or priestess here. And that age is pretty much over. Even people that are being handed the metaphorical keys to the temple are still creating content. You have to realize why. Because the age of external validation, which was what the last 2000 and longer years were about, is now being shifted to the age of internal validation, where we're realizing that we're all creating our reality ourselves without a reliance on outside structures. And so when you realize content creation is the permission slip for you to realize your expertise, for people to know about you and your talents. And at first, it will feel a little scary. You may feel like, oh my gosh, I'm an imposter. But that brings me to the second reason why it's so important to be creating content, which is that it gives you an opportunity to share as you learn. And for most of you, you're probably spending a lot of time going and poring over spiritual materials, going and really doing a lot of research, going and finding out what I call infotainment. Because a lot of spiritual knowledge, despite the fact that it is very interesting, unless you're practicing it and actually using it to improve your life in some way, is honestly not that valuable. Yes, it will feel good in the moment. Yes, it'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm learning something new. But if that knowledge doesn't actually translate to a concrete change in your own habits or your own reality, it's honestly just fluff. And that's because spirituality is so much more about action than some people realize. Even if it doesn't seem like you're taking any action, if you're just meditating, that still is an action that you're taking. But a lot of people, they just get stuck thinking they need to learn more and more and more, seeking for this source of external validation to really give them what it is that they want. And that is not the way anymore. The way right now is to be able to condense down the experience that you have, the most powerful, the most distilled teachings that have actually transformed your life, and being able to share those with others. And that's what's going to transform not only the world, but also your personal life. Because the third reason why posting content is so incredibly valuable is because it allows you to build a business. And this is something that I've certainly felt averse to for a very long period of time. I remember when I was in college, the thing that I said would be the last major I would ever study is business. But it turned out that there's actually a lot of benefits to building a business because we are in a world where money, dollars, euros, other currencies are the primary medium for exchange. And so if you want to go and cut yourself off from that, you're going to find yourself just needing to be reliant on people that are not cutting themselves off from that. And that is something that, again, is looking for external validation rather than internal validation, which is so much more key. Because posting content itself is one of the best ways for anybody to be able to make hundreds of thousands, millions, even just tens of thousands or thousands of dollars on the internet. Because posting content does something that has never really happened before in the world. It has given everybody the access to an unlimited amount of attention. Whereas before, if you were like a peasant or you were even like a noble or whatever, like 500 years ago, it would be very difficult for you to ever even reach like millions of people, much less thousands. But these days, if you go and spend like 90 days posting on TikTok and Instagram 3 times a day, odds are that you'll probably go and meet a million people, and a million people will see your face from that. So when you have such an excess of attention on you, it becomes very easy to realize that some of that attention could be used to go and get people to buy a certain thing or another that could actually help them. Whether that's like a Kangen water filter, whether that's your own program of some kind, whether that's even just like TikTok shop products or a product that of a brand that has really helped you, like has happened to me. There's so many ways to make an income and actually allow yourself to feel free from going and the kind of like 9 to 5 matrix that a lot of us can feel trapped in is because posting content is giving you the opportunity to reach more people than you ever would be able to reach normally. And so that's what ultimately is one of the most powerful things about posting content is that it's going to give you the opportunity to create one of the most valuable resources in the world, which is attention. And from that point, it's going to allow you to build a business, going to allow you to share as you're learning, and it's going to allow you to find your tribe of people that actually elevate your vibration. And so, if I had to go back in time to myself as I was just beginning to learn about spirituality, just beginning to read Alan Watts, just beginning to understand and realize the power of shamanism in my own life, that I would really tell myself, and this would be worth like tens of thousands of dollars if I could time travel back and give myself this message, is just start posting content as you're learning. Start to share what really excites you, not only because it's going to benefit you, but because those same things that are lighting you up as a being are also going to light up thousands, maybe even millions of other people because we're all ultimately going through this planetary ascension together. And so posting content is what transforms your individual ascension where you feel like you're ascending, but maybe some things don't really fully feel like they're changing and giving you this life-changing shift that you're looking for into your own planetary ascension, into someone that is actually changing the way people think at a planetary level and influencing the thought patterns of the world. And it's really like you become a neuron once you start to post content in the planetary brain, lighting up other neurons all across the world. And it is one of the most powerful and freeing feelings I've ever experienced. So if this has been helpful for you, comment content. And if you want some help going and creating a way for you to post content easily, effectively, consistently, and profitably, then click the link below this video and fill out the form. And if you're a good fit, one of my team members or me will be in touch. And we'll see if you're a good fit for my coaching program where we teach you how to go and build a profitable business and a consistent way to post in 90 days or less. So comment content if this has been helpful for you. And if you feel called, book a free call. Aloha.